welcome. This is the market wrap. Well, it hasn't exactly been a great start to the trading week with a lot of volatility, of course, largely induced by what we've seen across the globe, impacting India. For now, we're looking at a drop of around 0.3%. However, there are a handful of gainers out there. Bharti Airtel, HCL Technologies, UPL and Infosys advancing. On the losing end, we have a decline of around 14% for Yes Bank, something we're going to talk about today. IndusInd Bank, State Bank of India, ICICI Bank. A lot of these companies from the financial sector, some very heavyweights, well, bearing down on the indices. Let's take a look at the broader markets as well. We have Vodafone Idea advancing by as much as 9%. Sonata Software, GTND, IIFL Finance, of course, all advancing in trade. IIFL Finance on the back of a large bulk deal that we saw last Friday. On the losing end, of course, Indiabulls Housing Finance, along with a whole host of Indiabulls group companies declining in trade. We're going to talk about that as well. And, well, we have more weakness in Reliance Infra and Reliance Capital. Don't forget, we did have the AGMs for these companies today. And Edelweiss Financial Services back below the mark of 100 rupees per share. So a lot of concerns coming in as far as the financial sector is concerned. But on that note, let me welcome in our market senator Neeraj Shah after a really long time. Well, Neeraj, this clearly, a lot has happened over the last 2 weeks, but today it's the financials which is taking a hit.
Yeah, and I don't know if the market the market is worried about what could be happening out here, because we've seen the two names which have taken the biggest knock. One of them is no longer a part of the Nifty anymore, which is Indiabulls, and of course Yes Bank too correcting so strongly. The market would be worried about collateral damage that could come in. I mean, we're not out here saying that there will be collateral damage, but there are notes that have come out for prominent brokerages which are talking about the exposures to some of these groups as well and what could happen. So there is this conversation that is happening which could make participants nervous, and I think those are the set of names that have gone down in the session today. So you'd probably expect that to happen. Remember, on a day like this as well, Bajaj Finance was in the green, up over 4,000 rupees. You have, it's not that everything in financials is getting beaten, but everything that is in the minds of the market or participants, select participants, a bit of a worry is getting beaten down. But admirable today that telecom has done what it has done. There's some, again, rumors of what could happen maybe today, tomorrow, and if indeed there is some corporate activity happens, that could be interesting to monitor as well, because Reliance would then be active. So let's wait and watch what happens. But for now, under pressure, just one last thing, Agam, you would have a better sense here. I believe FIs have been net short on the future side, despite the fact that on days when we have had large moves and large cash market volumes as well, the cash market activity from the FIs hasn't been that great.
It's not been as much. Yes, absolutely agree with you, Neeraj. And that number is going to be very important to watch out for.
39,000 crores cash market volume today.
Yes. So it is going to be important. Well, Neeraj, thanks for that perspective there. Well, if we have seen such high cash market volumes, we are very well likely to see a lot of activity, especially from the domestic as well as the foreign institutional side. So we must keep an eye on that one. But on that note, let's discuss the financial sector in just a little more detail, because there are two stocks which do stand out in trade. I'm going to start off with what we've seen in Indiabulls Housing Finance, and I'm going to get in Shefali Malik to talk to us about that. Shefali, let's talk about Indiabulls Housing Finance and the group companies. What's gone wrong here?
Well, a couple of things. Started on Friday when we got the news that the Delhi High Court has agreed to listen to the pleas. There was a PIL filed by Citizens Whistleblower Forum. So that and Delhi High Court has sent notices to Indiabulls, RBI, SEBI, and has sought replies within 2 weeks. So that is one big thing that is playing out. The other one, of course, was the fact that Lakshmi Vilas Bank was put under the PCA framework by RBI. Now we know that Lakshmi Vilas Bank has been very weak. We've seen that in the financials of the bank, and now RBI has gone ahead and put the bank under the PCA framework. So that has raised the doubts. As it is, there was a lot of uncertainty regarding this particular merger, because RBI has been very wary of any housing finance company or any other group or any other entity with a large real estate exposure becoming a bank. So there was this uncertainty. Now with this step that Lakshmi Vilas Bank has come under the PCA framework, so that has raised a doubt that if it is headed the PCA way, or rather if it it's now on the PCA way. So what happens to the merger? Does it get delayed, or is it like completely put off?
Right.
So what's there on RBI's mind, best known to RBI itself.
Right.
But from Indiabulls' point of view, it is certainly, it has made things more uncertain.
Okay, well, a lot more uncertainty there, but there is also uncertainty with respect to Yes Bank. What are the updates here?
Well, Yes Bank, we know that it's struggling with many issues regarding it, with regards to its exposure to the stressed names,
Yeah.
and then with its capital raising exercise, its exposure to real estate is very high, about 14% of its book, and real estate, we know that it's the talking point these days, and especially after the PMC crisis, it's being talked about much more. So today, IDFC Securities came out with a note where they're saying that the gross NPs of the bank may go up to about 9.6% by FY21 versus something like 5% that they had at the end of the first quarter. And they're saying some very strong words coming in from the brokerage house, very strong views, I would say, rather. They're saying that given a huge capital shortage, they believe that merger with a large state-owned bank is the only way out.
Okay.
So that's quite big, but it's their opinion. And they're saying the top 3 stressed loan exposures are about 85% of the net worth and 2 times the existing base of gross NPAs. They've sharply cut down the earnings estimates because of the higher credit costs.
Right.
And the target price has been cut to about 35 rupees versus 75 a piece earlier. And they're saying that, after the PMC debacle, they expect RBI to become very strict with these commercial banks and the cooperative banks. So just before the market closing, we got a statement from Yes Bank quoting Mr. Ravneet Gill that they strongly refute some of the rumors and the reports which are coming out, and also their asset quality is in line with what they've been guiding. Their retail franchisee, something which IDFC Securities is talking about in their report. Now the depositors, the common man will become very cautious of depositing their money in a bank account.
Right.
So any stressed bank account, you would become very cautious of putting your money in. But Ravneet Gill is saying that their deposit franchisee remains strong and they're firmly on track to raise the required capital.
Sure. Well, fair enough. Shefali, thank you so much for getting us all those details on these two, very large financial companies, which are under pressure at this point in time. But on that note, it's a wrap on the markets, but there's lots more lined up. Stay tuned to BloombergQuint.